ate a lot of spicy food. There's a lot of things that we're not taught. Body image changes is a huge thing. I was so sensitive to those. Hi YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome, thanks for being here. My name is Dshani. I'm a model, content creator, cat mom of 6, and a mom-to-be based in New York City. So in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about everything that happened during my first trimester of my pregnancy, share about symptoms, and all things pregnancy during the first trimester. Sadly, I don't see many of us who look like me talk about pregnancy-related stuff. And growing up in Sri Lanka, I always saw how pregnant women were not respected. They were not appreciated or admired for all the work that they do, everything that they go through. When I was a kid, I didn't understand all those things. But now that I've grown up and I'm pregnant, I wish I knew better things back then. Or I wish I could go back and change things. But hey, all I can do is be the change now, talk about it, and educate more brown women that pregnancy is something beautiful and that they should embrace it and enjoy every bit of it. So starting from December, that's when I found out I was pregnant. It was like the 3rd week of December that I found out I was pregnant. How it happened was I caught a cold. I was outside that whole month, so I thought, okay, I was getting sick because, you know, outside has been crazy. It's been like 15 degrees and it was not good. So I thought I was just having a regular cold, but then after like 3 weeks of going through it, I decided to go to the urgent care, and that's when I found out I was pregnant. So my symptoms to begin with, it was more like a flu-like symptoms without cough or runny nose. I was feeling more lightheaded, dizzy, and I just felt like I lost all my energy. Most of the days I couldn't even get off my bed. That's how bad it was. And I had work and events to go to. I was able to make it to most of them. I just missed a few of them at the end because it was getting worse. But those were my symptoms in the beginning. I just felt so drained. I didn't have any morning sickness or anything like that. But the symptoms that I had was actually draining me, and it was absolutely the worst. Also, I wrote down some notes so I won't miss anything. I think it was pretty crazy how I found out I was pregnant at the urgent care. Most people find out that they're pregnant through like a home test, but unfortunately I didn't do that. I didn't get a chance to do it, but hey. My period was supposed to come in during the 1st week of December, and I told you I went to the urgent care during the 3rd week, so I was like 3 weeks late. Honestly, I wouldn't have guessed I was pregnant, or the thought didn't even cross my mind at all. I just thought it's just late. And I'm sick, so that's probably why. And my husband went with me to the urgent care, so he was there when we got the news. I had to confirm with him that everything was okay. And for him and I, we took a little time to fully process this because it was so shocking. We were not expecting this. This wasn't in our plan. So we were like, whoa, what are we doing now? And then my husband's aunt was here from Trinidad and Tobago. She was here for like a month or so. And we wanted to do the pregnancy announcement while she was here because she's one of the coolest aunts. I love her so much, and she loves us so much as well. She always checks on us, and she's such a cool, happy, hype person in general. So we wanted to break the good news to her while she was here because we don't know when we will see her again. So I waited until like January. When I found out I was pregnant, I was 6 weeks or less, according to what they said. So we told our family and friends when I hit 2 months. And mind you, everybody was so shocked to hear this news. Nobody thought that I would have kids anytime soon because I always tell them like no kids until maybe like a few years later on. Until after I have my house, my own place, until I'm settled, I'm not gonna have kids. But oh well. Change of plans, and it's okay. Things happen. Things don't always go as planned, and that's okay. And I'm here to assure you that it's always for a good reason. So now let's talk about the actual first trimester symptoms. So besides the first 3 weeks when I was sick, I didn't have many symptoms. So I would say I felt very fatigued and exhausted, and I was sensitive to certain smells, like even cat food. I've been feeding my cats for 7 years, but all of a sudden, I just felt like I was so sensitive to cat food, incense, and all these different things that I always have been using. I was so sensitive to those. But it was only for a few weeks if I remember correctly. So my actual symptoms were exhaustion, fatigue, sensitivity to smells, and my breasts were so sore and tender So by the second month, my boobies were actually double the size. And I was so shocked because I was like, whoa, it's still too early during my pregnancy and I already have tender, sore, bigger boobies. I was like, yay. Yay to the fact that it's bigger, but not to the soreness or anything else. And mind you, my husband was the happiest person when he found out my boobs doubled in size. Talking about emotions or mood swings, I feel like I was pretty chill. I didn't have any like crazy mood swings. I was pretty chill. I was just like exhausted, and I'm usually a little spicy sometimes. You know, I would just like pick on my husband for something and stuff like that. But I wasn't really like that. I was more chill, laid back. I just wanted to be left alone. It was during the second month that I found out that your belly expands at night. I didn't know about this. I think that was crazy. So let's say I'm 2 months, my morning belly would look like 2 months. But then after it hits like 12 p.m., 3 p.m., going towards the night, my belly doubled in size every single day. And I felt bloated and my belly felt so heavy and it was double in size. I did not know that was a thing during pregnancy. See, there's a lot of things that we're not taught. I had to learn it when I got pregnant. I would say I had a really easy pregnancy during my first trimester. I'm very super thankful for that. I drink some water because I've been talking a lot. Oh, as I'm drinking water, I have to mention I suck at drinking water. And now that I'm pregnant, I have to force myself to drink water. So I found a little trick on how to make myself drink more water. So I added lemon, added like fresh lemon juice and salt. And ever since, I've been finishing one a day. My goal is to drink at least one a day because I have to have water in my body. So now let's talk about doctor visits and tests. Let me tell you, this is fun and not fun at the same time. The ultrasounds are fun. I so look forward to it every month. So I get to see my baby and hear their heartbeat and all that. But the blood work, there's so many blood work to do. So many. So many. I'm not exaggerating. There's so many. They've taken so much of my blood. So my first prenatal appointment was back in December. That's when they did a vaginal ultrasound and an abdominal one. So the reason for the vaginal one is because I was still 6 weeks. They said I was 6 weeks or less. So because of that, the baby is like all the way, like, you know, very deep under there. So they're not able to see it through abdominal ultrasound. So they have to do a vaginal one. It looks like a pee-pee. It goes in there and that way they can get as close as to the baby. That way they can see the actual everything about the baby. It's not uncomfortable, it's not painful. In case you were wondering how they calculate how many weeks you're pregnant, they'll ask you what's the last day of your period. So the last day of my period was November 7th, and then they'll count it from that time to the day that you went. So if I went in after 8 weeks of my last period, that means I'm 8 weeks pregnant. That's how they do it. Even though that doesn't necessarily mean that you were pregnant right after your period. You might have gotten pregnant like 4 weeks ago, but that's how they count it. And then after they did the ultrasounds, they asked me if we wanted to keep the pregnancy and they gave us options. First option was an abortion. The second option was to put it up for adoption after birth. Third one is for us to keep the baby. They have to give you these options to make sure that you're not forced to keep the pregnancy and you're taking the best decision for yourself and the baby. To be honest, I was so scared going to my first prenatal appointment. I didn't know what to expect. I told her that I want to keep it. She told me to start taking prenatals and she prescribed me prenatals. Prenatals are vitamins that you have to take during your pregnancy until the baby is born. It has all the vitamins that your baby needs to grow without any issues. So after your first appointment, you have to go for an appointment every month where they do an ultrasound. It's very quick, it's in and out unless you have other concerns or like questions and stuff like that, but it's in and out. So it's very quick after the first one. When I went in for the second prenatal appointment, they also did a vaginal ultrasound and an abdominal one. So the questions that I asked her during my visit was, do I need to get a flu shot? She said I don't need a flu shot if it's something that I never really get. And then I asked her, do I need to register at the hospital or do I need to do anything prior to the labor day? The answer was no, I don't have to do anything. One of the main questions that I wanted to ask her was how many people can be in the room with me, like my family or my friends. She told me that I can have 2 people. I will be giving birth at Richmond University Hospital here in Staten Island, New York. So that's their limit for family and friends. And those were the questions I asked her during my second prenatal appointment. And after that, she told me I have to go in for 2 blood work. One is just like a general testing. So the second blood work is to test for any potential birth defects like Down syndrome or any other issues that could come up. So they can test it early with blood work and just prepare if something comes up. And that's also when you can find the gender of your baby. I wanted to keep an intimate gender reveal between me and my husband, so I decided to give the results to my friend, which we got 2 to 3 weeks later on. And we're so excited for the gender reveal. It's coming up soon. I can't wait to share with you guys about it. Just to summarize, after my second prenatal visit, I had to do 2 blood work. One is for general testing and the second one is for any potential birth defects and to find the gender. And then I also had to do an ultrasound to make sure that the baby's organs are developing good and everything is perfect. And then my final appointment for my first trimester went by even faster than the other 2. All I had to do was the ultrasound and ask her some questions that I had, and that was about it. I was in and out. It was so quick. So that was all the doctor visits and the tests that was done during the first trimester. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but a trimester is 3 months. So from your first week up until the 12th week, that's your first trimester. So if you divide 9 months by 3, each 3 months is a trimester. So now let's talk about some lifestyle and adjustments. After I found out I was pregnant, I made sure I did not take a sip of alcohol. I'm not an alcoholic, but if there's company or if there's some event, I would, drink something, but I'm not a heavy drinker. I don't like hard liquor or anything like that. I love sweet drinks. Anyways, during December, since I was sick, thankfully I had avoided alcohol the whole month. So, which was great. After I found out I was pregnant, I made sure that I stayed within the 200 milligram caffeine limit. I would drink at least 2 cups of tea. Most of the times I would double the tea bags. But this time I made sure I only drank 1 cup of tea, and I also got some decaffeinated tea. So if I wanted to drink more tea, I would just drink some caffeinated and decaffeinated so it balances it out. In regards to changes in diet, I didn't have any changes in diet, honestly. I was able to eat everything that I usually eat, and I still eat everything that I'm supposed to eat. You just have to watch for certain things, like you're not supposed to eat raw food, you're not supposed to eat like deli meat, unpasteurized milk, stuff like that. So anything that you can make at home is pretty much safe. I personally don't eat any red meat or any other type of meat besides chicken and fish. So I didn't really have to worry much about like deli meat and all that because I don't really eat deli meat either way. Oh, and being a brown person, I have to mention this. This is so important. People say that you're not supposed to eat spicy food, but I'm Sri Lankan, I'm brown, I grew up in spices. When I say spices, I don't mean like fennel seeds, cardamom, cloves, stuff like that. I mean like spicy food, like spicy, the things that will make you cry. I did not stop any of that. If anything, I ate more of spicy food since I got pregnant because I was craving for spicy, salty food. So Sri Lankan food was the best because, it's mixed with so much spiciness, spices, and flavor. Ooh, Sri Lankan food is the most flavorful cuisine. And don't try to argue about that because you won't win. One thing I realized is that I completely lost my taste buds for sweet food. So I was only craving like salty, spicy food. I didn't really like any like sweets, and even in general, I'm not a candy person, and for some reason throughout my first trimester, I did not really eat any sweets at all. At all. I normally eat a lot of fruit and vegetables, but I made sure I ate a little more of that. I'm a huge fan of any type of fruit, mainly like tropical fruit like mangoes, pineapples, and all that stuff. And I know some say you're not supposed to eat pineapples, but as long as you eat it in a moderate amount, that's fine. Don't try to eat like a whole pineapple in a day. That's not good. I would just like eat pineapples like here and there, and I would make like acharu. It's like Sri Lankan pickled pineapples, and I would do that to mangoes as well. So I ate a lot of spicy food. So the fact that people say that you're not supposed to eat spicy food, it does not apply to me. Oh, I don't think it applies to brown people because you're used to eating spicy food, so it's not something new to your system. In any case, I want my baby to be familiar with spicy food. I want them to come out craving for spicy food. If you were wondering if I stayed active during my first trimester, absolutely not. I barely moved and I was taking a lot of naps. So no, I did not do any workout at all. Not even like light stretching. No workout at all during my first trimester at all. I started working out after my first trimester. One thing I did change about movement and just my lifestyle wisely, I tend to pick up a lot of weight. Like, even though I'm a 90-pound person, I can lift a lot of weight. But I had to make sure that I stopped doing that because it's not good for you. When you're pregnant, you can't lift a certain amount of weight. So I made sure that I leave certain heavy things for my husband and only do the things that I'm comfortable with. I didn't have any major sleep struggles, but I would say at night, since my belly was so big and bloated and was uncomfortable and heavy, I was struggling to kind of like turn from one side to the other, stuff like that. Today when I'm doing this video, I'm 17 weeks, so I still sleep on my back, but I make sure that I don't sleep on my back for too long. I always sleep on my left and my right. And after your 5th month, you have to avoid sleeping on your back completely. Sleeping on your back will cut the blood circulation to your baby and the placenta and to all those important places, and it will be actually hard for you to breathe as well. So think about laying down and carrying a heavy watermelon on your belly and trying to go to sleep. That's how you would feel. Also, it's not good for the baby. The baby won't be able to breathe. It's just not safe at all. Try to sleep on your left or right. And they say sleeping on your left is better for your organs and for like the best blood circulation. And in regards to weight, I'm underweight. So I was at like 88 pounds when I went to my first prenatal appointment. And then during my 3rd one, I went up to like 94. So they said as long as I keep going up, that's fine. I just can't keep going down. I have to gain weight. So let's see how much weight I gain, because I never gained any weight in my life. I look the same throughout my entire life. Since I was like 16, I still look the same. So now let's talk about emotional and mental health. In the beginning, I was feeling really nervous and anxious about my pregnancy because it's my first time. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how things are gonna go. I hear from other women that they felt so lonely during pregnancy and all that stuff. So I was kind of afraid when I heard about that. But then I joined Facebook groups and like apps and all that stuff. So it kind of helped me out, but I also keep myself busy with a lot of things. I have 6 cats and there's so much going on, so I don't really feel so much of it. But other than that, I don't really have anything major that I'm struggling with in regards to my mental health. I do wish I had my family and my parents with me, because my 2 older sisters, they had them when they were pregnant. So I kind of wish that they were with me, but it's okay. I've received amazing support from my friends. Most of them have cooked food for me. They've sent food and they'll always ask me like, hey, what do you need? Just let us know if you need anything. So I have a good support system, which I'm very grateful for. I don't have any fears or worries about my pregnancy. I tried avoiding looking up things on Google. If you want to have a positive pregnancy, just think of it positively. Just make sure that you remind yourself every day like, hey, this is gonna be okay. I'm gonna safely deliver my child. Everything is gonna go smooth. I'm gonna have a safe pregnancy. Just make sure you pray. Prayers works wonders. Just pray every day. I pray morning and night. I grew up as a Catholic and I always believed in God, and I always believed that God did the best things for me and He always took care of everything in my life. I do not think of anything negatively. I know I'm gonna have a positive experience. I'm actually excited for my delivery day. I think it's gonna be such a wonderful thing. And I don't have any fears of it. I just pray and hope that everything goes smoothly. And it will. So if you're a mama to be or planning to get pregnant, I pray that you have the safest pregnancy, and I know everything will go smoothly and you'll have the most beautiful baby. One last thing I want to add to the emotional and mental health is that the body image changes is a huge thing. So I've been a teeny tiny girl my whole life. I never gained weight. I was the same size since I was 16. With the pregnancy, seeing my belly grow and certain body parts in me change is affecting me, But I've learned to embrace it because I'm not used to the body that I'm seeing now. I don't have any major changes yet. Weight gain and stuff like that will happen in the third trimester, but the changes that I'm already going through, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not like super like excited about it, but I'm so thankful that I get to bear a child, I get to carry a life, and I get to birth it. And the fact that I'm nurturing my baby inside my body, it's amazing and it's such a miracle to me. So I always try to think of like the positive sides of it and the really amazing parts about it, so that way it doesn't bother me too much about like the body image changes. And if you're somebody struggling with that, just know that you're beautiful no matter how much weight you gain, no matter how much your body changes, because you're growing a human in your body. Think of what a beautiful miracle that is. So don't let anybody put you down or tell you otherwise and make you feel like you're doing something wrong. Lastly, I just want to give some advice to moms-to-be, because when I got pregnant, I knew nothing about pregnancy. And being a brown person and trying to look up to other brown people who are going through the same is tough, because there's not many brown people that share about these things. And that's exactly why I wanted to come here and talk about it and make other people feel seen and loved and to help them embrace what they're going through. As soon as I found out I was pregnant, I was Googling stuff. I was on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube trying to figure out what to do about certain things and how to go about my pregnancy, and none of those videos were made by a brown person. I wish more of us came out to talk about pregnancy and not keep it hidden and not make it feel like, oh, you're doing something wrong or it's not something that you should embrace. Pregnancy is such a beautiful thing, and I hope I get to inspire other brown moms, and I hope you guys learned something from my video. The biggest piece of advice to other moms-to-be is to embrace your pregnancy, be happy, don't stress about anything. And remember, if you're a first-time mom, the first-time pregnancy is only going to be one time. So make sure you enjoy it, cherish every moment that you have, and you're going to have a beautiful baby. Try not to Google things unless you really need to, because Google will scare you even more and confuse you even more. I stopped Googling things and I would try to find answers other ways. And lastly, just make sure that you don't listen to every single thing that people say, and do what you're comfortable with. At the end of the day, it's your pregnancy, it's your baby, and nobody knows your body better or your baby better than you. Lastly, stay positive. Don't let anybody bring you down, whether it's about your body image, whether it's about your mood swings or just you in general, anything about you. Don't let anybody bring you down, because at the end of the day, it's you that's going through it, not the other person. Don't let them talk you down and make you feel like you're less of a person because you're pregnant. No, you're doing amazing. You're growing a whole human in you and you're going through so much. So don't let anybody discourage you or stress you out, because it's not worth it, and you deserve to be happy and your baby deserves to be happy. Anyways, that's it for my today's video. If you watched it till the end, I'm so happy. I hope you learned something. I hope I was able to inspire you and help you pick yourself up if you've been feeling down lately. I'm currently in my second trimester and I can't wait to bring you guys updates from my second trimester. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you soon with my next video. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.